Hey, what's up guys, Totallydubbed here, and today I'm doing a video review on the Samsung curved 24-inch or 23.5-inch monitor. Now, this monitor can be found on the different name tags. The reason I say that is because you can find it on Samsung's website as the CFG70 FQU. You can find it on overclockers.co.uk for on the C24FG70, and on Amazon.co.uk as the LC24FG70 FQU XEN. So hopefully Samsung sort that out, but anyway, there's different naming structures throughout the world. Anyway, it's the same monitor, and the monitor can be found on both 24 and 27 inch. Right in front of you right now you've got the 24-inch monitor. Now in the UK can be found from anything from £320 all the way down to £290. So I'll be reviewing at the £300 price tag just because it's the mid-ground between the two, so bear that in mind. On Amazon USA I found it for $350, so links will be down in the description in case you're interested. Now, in terms of the specs itself, it is a 24 or 23.5 inch curved monitor. It runs 144 Hz at 1080p. It has a VA panel. It runs at 1 millisecond, which is quite unique for a VA panel and a curved monitor in itself. It has a 16:9 aspect ratio, and other than that, in terms of inputs and outputs, you've got two HDMI inputs and a DisplayPort input as well, and I should also mention that you've got a really nice joystick control at the back and three little game buttons over here, including the power button, which make it easy access. Now, speaking of which, let's quickly go into the build quality. Now, the build quality of the monitor is actually fantastic. What I love about it is its actual monitor arm. It's very much flexible in terms of what you want to do. As you can see right there, you can adjust it everywhere you'd want. You can do a full 180 spin backwards and forwards, and more so you can bring it forwards or backwards towards you. So the monitor arm is a really nice innovation by Samsung. You also have the VESA mount capabilities if you so wish, so you can remove it and still have a VESA mount, but I really like the arm. It's a good design by Samsung, and I really like that it's been well thought through. Now you can see at the bottom it's got a lighting. Now the lighting over here can be turned off altogether. It's on breathing mode right now, and it can have this reactive gaming mode. Now reactive gaming mode works on the audio that's displayed, but as far as I'm aware, you can only have that audio play through the monitor. Therefore, if you plug in your headphones directly through the monitor, which yes you can, you've got a 3.5mm jack, then you'll have the arena lighting kind of being reactive to your gunfires and sounds going in game. Little feature there, but in all honesty it's not a big deal. Now, as I said, the joystick controls at the back are very much handy to use, and I must say in terms of using it, going into the OSD, you have a full plethora of settings. Now if I just zoom in over here, you'll be able to see the actual settings that come with the monitor, and I just reduced the EV of my camera. So through the game settings, you've got various settings you can go through: a refresh rate, black equalizer, response time, which I'll get into in just a bit. I should mention the response time when you go on fastest or faster is much better for gaming, but it does reduce the overall brightness of the monitor. You've got FreeSync, so yes, it's an AMD FreeSync enabled monitor, low input lag, screen size. In picture settings, I've got it as custom, and I've got the colors set as 50-50-50. I've also got the gamma mode set at 3. Now I should mention in the packaging you do get a calibration report as well, which is very nice to see. Quite unique actually. Not many monitors have calibration reports out the box, even professional monitors, so it's nice to see Samsung actually included that as well. The on-screen display can be changed. The arena lighting, which is the lighting I talked to you about underneath the monitor, that can be changed. You can go through DisplayPort version in case you have a problem having the display being displayed via the DisplayPort. God. And then you got a power LED, which you can have on standby, or you can turn it off. Obviously the information of the monitor itself. So that's pretty much all the settings in the OSD. Very much complete, and I've got no complaints. So one more thing I should mention in terms of build quality is the bezels. The bezels are pretty low profile. Given it's a curved monitor, it doesn't take too much away from the actual screen itself. So good job there, Samsung. Now I should mention it is a curved monitor, and most people might be wondering, do you really need a curved monitor at 24 inch? Now I should say 24 inch Curved didn't really strike me as being something special, but the more I look at it and the more I use it, I felt that the curvature might be slight on a 24-inch screen, but it's still a little bit noticeable. It's not exactly like your ultra-wide monitors, which are going to be curving around, giving you a full immersion of the game, but the fact you have a curved monitor on a 24-inch screen is I guess a why not? Why not have a curved screen in there rather than have a normal flat screen? So I would say it's just a nice addition to have. Now, in terms of the panel quality, it has a VA panel. Now, VA panels obviously give you great contrast ratio, and I must say in this panel, the color accuracy and the contrast ratios are fantastic. I had absolutely no problems. It looks stunning out the box. Very much the calibration report is pretty much on point. I had no problems looking at the panel. All colors looked really, really nice. The deep blacks over here, for example, are accurate. They're not faded out. You've got a good black level. The whites over here are accurate as well, and the color reproduction is very much accurate. Now, the VA panel does give you great contrast ratios as well, so you really have a good eye-popping color. Now, I should mention that you can calibrate the color to your heart's content, either through the OSD or via a color calibrator, but honestly, out the box, I didn't feel I had to do that, which is just a testament to its VA panel. So, in terms of panel quality goes, I've got absolutely no complaints. The only thing I would say is that you are running at a 1080p display, so do bear that in mind. It's not a 2K display or any sorts, but nevertheless, you would already know that if you're looking at the specs of the monitor. Now, what about its gaming performance? Now, this was the big thing for me because a VA monitor often I have found is not good for gaming, and that really comes down to the fact that you have a lot of ghosting or a lot of blurring. Now, I must say when it came to gaming, I had absolutely no problems. However, what I had to use it on is using it on the response time as fastest. Now, it didn't have any sort of negative effects apart from the brightness level. So on the mode off, I feel that it's very much responsive, great for casual gaming. I wouldn't have a problem. If you start playing competitively, I would highly suggest going on that extra setting, which again, game, response time, fastest. Now, when I went on fastest, I felt that the monitor just responded just a lot better to movements, and I had no problems in terms of using it competitively. So I would use this monitor competitively. However, the overall brightness of the monitor decreases. I don't know if you can see that, and maybe you're seeing a lot of flicker on the screen. That's because of the camera, not the screen, but it does reduce the brightness to the point that it is a little bit too dark for me. So it is a disadvantage. So if you're going to be playing competitively, do bear that in mind. You might want to ramp up the brightness through your in-game settings, but nevertheless, that is something that you should bear in mind if you're going to play for it. So in terms of actually using it fast, I noticed no sort of overshoot ghosting of any sorts, and in terms of input lag, absolutely no problems whatsoever. Input lag seemed absolutely fine. So in terms of gaming, in terms of the gaming performance goes, I'm very much impressed with it. No complaints, and yes, I would use this monitor to play competitively, and more so, even more so casually. So good job Samsung for actually producing a monitor that has a VA panel and can be actually used for a competitive game. Most, as I said, VA panels can't be used for that purpose just because of their trailing and ghosting that occurs, or even the motion blur. Anyway guys, that is it pretty much from the review. I must say the overall monitor is a fantastic buy. It seems expensive at first, but when you actually look at the specs and what you get for the price, I think it's actually one of the best 1080p monitors out there. If you look at on the market at the moment, you can find a 144Hz TN 1080p panel, non-curved, again 22 to 24 inch, for around 200 odd quid, 200 to 220 quid. It's actually one of my biggest recommendations in terms of monitors you can buy. It's an AOC gaming monitor. However, you've got curvature, which even though it might be slight, is quite unique. It's got great build quality, as in the Samsung does, and on top of that, you have VA panel, which is tons better than the TN panels used on most gaming monitors. Not to say that color accuracy and color reproduction is going to be a massive importance to gamers, but if you want to game and not worry about any sort of motion blur or any problems of ghosting, then in all honesty, this monitor combines the best of both worlds. You've got the fantastic colors and the contrast ratios of the VA panel, but yet due to Samsung's technology, you also get fantastic response time and very low input lag when it comes to competitive gaming. So honestly, top marks for me, a really, really solid gaming monitor, especially if you can buy it for £280, £290. I can't see why you wouldn't buy this monitor, why you wouldn't invest a little bit extra for it versus a £220 equivalent, which just doesn't have anywhere near the same color accuracy. Alright guys, I've been Totally Dubbed. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. Make sure you give it a like, comment, subscribe, favorite and share, and let me know in the comments below what you think. Again, buy links will be down in the description below, plus full specs. Alright guys, Totally Dubbed out. Bye bye.